So today, sorry, select sheets, LMS. Uh, Kamil, if you already submitted those lab sheets, then so okay. But after that, for your next submissions, please use your index numbers and registration numbers. Otherwise, it's very hard to find out and mark those submissions. That's the problem. So it will be easy for us to use your registration or index numbers to mark your assignments, right? Right. So today's session is about ethical and social implication of information systems. So for CSS students, so what is an information system? So basically, uh, the system that you are uh, working on with even the Microsoft Office, those are also kind of information systems and some payroll systems, inventory management systems that are in large scale also. So every system, even a small computer, all of those are considered as information systems, right? So today we are going to talk about some the ethical and social implication of these information systems. So there are several. So here I have discussed several misuse of information technology, and so those are especially invade users' privacy and for commit computer crimes. So another word, the point is minimize or prevent by installing operating system updated regulate. So uh, basically every when you are working with the internet also, so there are several things you need to care. So you are not going to update your system, your machines properly, then everyone knows many can uh, able to infiltrate your systems and get the necessary some uh, sensitive informations. Sure. So nowadays, I remember yesterday or yeah, yesterday. So I heard a news also regarding some uh, major hacking was going on last 2 to 3 days. Yeah, many government informations are now at the risks. So uh, those are actually the risks associated with these information systems, right? So you need to keep a habit of like updating your operating systems, even for your mobile phones, and the other thing, using an antivirus software, right? So actually, I think these should be your common knowledge, and especially when you're using emails, right? So there are several things like some people can send you spam email, phishing emails. So uh, phishing means that you will getting some nice information, whether you're giving some gift or some kind of uh, maybe uh, they ask you to log into the Facebook, but the email, the URL. So only single point will be the single letter will be changed there, right? So you are going to a separate window other than the original Facebook log. So in there you are going to enter your credentials. Then what will happen? You will mistakenly give your username and password. So you need to keep an aware when you are clicking something and all, where you need to check those informations that are relevant and if those URLs are correct, right? And you can search about more about these rather than how you are going to prevent those uh, risks associated with these information systems. And when you are using your browsers, so there are cookies where some necessary libraries and some applications that are need to uh, uh, work properly when you are going to some particular web page. In that web page, they are asking to install several cookies, and they say after that the page can easily navigate and all, right? But the so cookies are some small text file or unique ID tag. So they are embedded in web browser, and they are going to save inside your hard drive. As mentioned here, they can use full and inclusive. That means when you're working with the that particular web page, then those things right they are it will be very easy to use. But the problem is since they are saved in your hard drive, and uh, the problem is by using those cookies, people can create a particular window to sorry students, please give me a minute. So sorry, students. So as I mentioned, you can also actually how you can create particular door to a some to a, let's say, a particular computer. So by using cookies, you can also search, but for your knowledge to how to avoid those. And so there are several ways you can even disable these cookies. So there are several key manager software also. And when you are using browser, so always when some cookies are there, they are asking for you to install them. So you need to go through each and every uh, note regarding those cookies and all, and try to uh, install all only the necessary cookies. So even you can avoid those, it is good corresponding to the current cases in the internet. So there are several other such kind of tools as well. So those are these spywares and adwares. And so spyware. So those are actually some tools uh, that will run in backgroundly to gather some necessary information. So do you aware of such kind of spywares? Anyone? So I don't know, I'm not going to say the name, but the there were some spyware that will uh, capture image so of your machine. Let's say, as I remember, see, it will do sequentially uh, for 1 minute or that particular time. So it will capture a screenshot of your machine and will send to the particular hacker's original server or that machine. So those can easily avoided by using this antivirus software and anti-spyware software. And especially for nowadays, you can keep update. And one of the thing, do you particularly aware that Ubuntu uh, operating systems are having a reduced number of attacks? Yeah. So next slide also, yeah, we have keyloggers. So spyware is particularly gathers some variety of information. So here mentioned, especially when you are browsing the web also, and maybe it can install to your machine. Um, so as I mentioned, why actually Ubuntu is not going to harm these spywares and other and viruses. Why it is uh, not going to face those virus softwares. What do you think? So when you are say Windows and there are exe files, so exe file can easily hack, right? So in Windows, we don't know when we are double click something and now we are installing. We don't know whether it is a spyware or ransomware or some virus. We don't know. But if you are working with Ubuntu, it is very hard to or vulnerable to those attacks. Why is that? Anyone? Not know. So one thing, one of the major benefit having such kind of Ubuntu or such kind of open source softwares are because the source file is available to generic public, right? So the thing is, if when when we need to a particular attack, we need to find out some vulnerability inside the that particular software or operating system or the particular information system, right? So if we can find out those vulnerabilities, then the problem is those hackers and all, they are going to exploit. The thing is, we are unable to find out when we are working with uh, those proprietary softwares, that because the source file is missing for us, then only the owners of that particular software can only able to fix those problems, fix those issues. But when you're working with FOSS kind of free and open source softwares, so there are vastly available community, and they will be directly cater those problems, right? So even someone have find out a particular bug in the system and they are going to exploit it, it can be easily fixed by using patches and all, and the community will be easily able to fix that. So that's one major uh, benefit having in the FOSS software. So another thing here, we are talking about spywares, and then the next thing is adware. So I think many of you have going to download some movie or going to pirate some movie, then you will face to particular things that means several ads will going to pop up, right? So in that case, they are going to pop up several ads, and so some of those adwares will collect your information as well. To let's say, so if you are clicking a particular ad, so they are going to see that now you are prefer this particular area. They are going to populate your web page with those ads, right? So now another thing is, when you are using some kind of Android phones or those phones, and let's say in WhatsApp you say uh, to your friend that I like this watch or something, and let's say you want to buy some of these things, and then if you go to the Facebook, so what will happen? Your Facebook will be populate with the recommendation of such, let's say, watch. Then there are several watch ads about those watches, right? The Facebook will be going to populate. So that is some particular thing having in current information systems. Yeah, we'll talk about them as well in the slide. So if you have anything to add, you can put into the chat section as well. Then we can discuss what are the things that are related to these information systems. So yeah, I already discussed about this phishing. So it's a fraudulent email. It can seem to come from a legitimate source, but the problem is it's a false website. So I particularly know one thing. The name was facelook.com. So even the L and B is very hard to catch for our naked eye. And the web page is very similar. And if you know about the networking and all to some extent, then actually you can even change that particular URL to say exact URL, exact facebook.com. But there is a way that you will need to do. So I'm not going to teach you about that, but when you are learning with the network and stuff, then we'll know. Even we can change the URL and say exact URL and exact web page will be there. But the thing is, it will be a false website. So as Sahan mentioned, there is another thing, keyloggers. But actually, when you are working with industry, they are going to use these keyloggers. Why it is that? So it is mentioned here as well. Let's say you went to IFS as a software engineer, and they are going to give you a personal laptop to you to do the company's tasks, right? And when the your working hours, let's say you are downloading a movie or go to the YouTube to, let's say, watch a song and all. You will do your, if you do your personal work, then let's say maybe in the same time or the next day, the company HR will send you a particular letter, or maybe they're going to put your Slack uh, your Slack account, or we send you some message saying you are violating company policies and all. So how they are going to track that you are violating your company policies, especially by using these keyloggers. So here mentioned in the third point also. So companies will use these keyloggers to track employees work in the internet, or internet may not only the internet, actually they can able to see everything that you are going to do, that you are currently doing uh, through your machine. So there are several tools as well, and the other thing, the everything can be managed by some remote server inside that company's machine, right? So because that particular machine is actually the company's property, and when if you are using it to your personal work, so that means you are violating the company policies. The thing is, you can't even use that machine after the working hours. Let's say you want to play some video games and all. Actually, you can't use your company lab to do those tasks, right? So when you're joining to the industry, so you need to keep an aware. So don't use your company's machine to do your personal tasks, even for managing your emails, your personal emails. You can manage the company emails, it is okay. It is okay to put your personal email as well, because sometimes you will need your personal email to track several things in the company machine also, but use a separate uh, personal computer to do your personal tasks, right? So keyloggers So they will monitor and keep a record of your major things, let's say the time and all. They are going to put a particular key, let's say time frame and all, and record that particular task. And even they can be implemented as hardware devices. There are a lot of softwares, but hardware tools also available. So as I mentioned, they can use for malicious purposes. So there are another two things, sniffing and spoofing. So in sniffing, so 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 it means, let's say you are passing a particular data through your network. So information, so IS students, they will know there are data packet consists of it is consists of several layers, and those layers have several informations, right? So we have discussed the 7-layer architecture also. So in that architecture also you can see what are the informations about in each particular layer. So the data packet will consist of the whole the thing, right? And if it is passed through the internet, if you not if you didn't encode properly, encrypted it properly, then the problem is using some recording devices. Let's say Wireshark. So Wireshark is the uh, industrially used software to capture the those network data packets. In there, you can see what is the sender, what is the destination, and some the things can be seen using those by intercepting the data packet, right? So they can be used for let's say good purposes and all, but many hackers are there that, and they can able to intercept those information. So that is called as sniffing. And spoofing is to attempt and gain access to network. So by posing as an authorized user. So any of you have used Parrot toys? Gula Parrot toys use kala thera. No? Please raise your hand if you have used Parrot toys, or if you heard about the toys, Parrot toys. No? And Kali Linux. Someone have heard both. Yeah, say there are several students that know. So those two operating systems are specialized for doing ethical hacking, right? So in Parrot toys, I did some uh, thing. So there are several tools available. So let's say Wi-Fi hacking, right? So what by using those tools, what we can actually do is, when you are in a network, uh, in a particular network, then there should be some, at least one computer that is going to connect with that particular Wi-Fi or that network port, that access point, right? So what we can do is we can pass a data packet to enter let's say some random IP, random password, right? But we are keep sending uh, data packets to that router. What will happen? Router is unable to handle the whole network or the whole load, right? So nowadays, the routers are know how to deal with that, but lot of the routers are having that problem. That means if the if we can send the authentication data packets, in large number of authentication data packets in a small time frame, then the router is unable to handle all of the data. So what it will do is it will disconnect every connected uh, machines in that network, and then what will happen is the already connected machine or the connected PC will send a sync, right? Send a authentication data packet, right? In that authentication data packet, it has the information about the password, right? So if you are able to capture that particular packet and intercept it, and by using the decrypting algorithm, uh, it is very easy to find out the password. So by doing that time, so what that means is then you can gain access to that particular network, right? So if you do this for getting access to a particular web page as a authorized user to steal sensitive information, so that will call spoofing. So don't do that, right? So I think yeah, you can go through it, this thing in detail. So I will discuss some of these crimes, computer crime and fraud. So you can actually name exact, let's say, some uh, real information that about the some real news according to these examples. So computer fraud are actually unauthorized use of computer data for your personal gain or your personal benefit, or for your educational purposes also you can do those. So here we have mentioned these for your educational purposes. So one particular thing that I said for Wi-Fi is a thing that is denial of service attack. And by doing that, you can do this identity theft and software piracy, also a computer crime, pornography, email spamming, and yeah, you can go through with these one, sabotage, virus hoax. So privacy issues. So as I mentioned earlier also, now in current world, there are several databases, data warehouses, and data lakes, right? So all those things will store your information, right? So that means large number of databases are there, and many companies are storing your information. And with our legal system, especially in Sri Lanka, there are even today also there are limited laws are available. So I think I have mentioned that in US they are not going to allow more than 128 long key, right? That means you can only use a particular key at 228 long. So when we are learning also, we note that the best possible key size is 256, right? So keys is for encrypting a particular data, right? So, but the actually the problem is that US never know, but they will have a particular tools that is going that able to intercept keys that are long 120 uh, size. So in that case, they are able to collect all the information. We don't never know, but that one thing. But here in Sri Lanka, there are no any laws about those key size and all. There are for intellectual property and cyber crime, and there are several laws. So I students already go through some of those acts as well. So other students, CS and SC students. So you can also uh, search through about what are the laws currently having regarding these uh, cyber crimes and computer crime and fraud. So in the other hand, so when you are working inside a company, so in that case, that let's say you are going to the social network sites in your working hours. So that is in another hand, that also a problem, right? So companies will necessary to monitor employees and they are doing, right? So that will also happen. So that is also another privacy concern, right? So those are unethical to do. And as I mentioned, when you are using Android phone and all, so they are the actually what will happen is companies are collecting your information and they are going to sell those informations to other companies, right? So they will know actually your willingness and all this stuff about you will know better than actually yourself. So even your financial situations and your healthcare and all, so they can misuse or abuse this information. So as actually students who are uh, doing a Bachelor of Computing degree, so you need to aware of these things and you can you will be able to come up with the more secured or more uh, useful rules and more useful let's say systems to deal with these problems in the future. And the other thing, now it is increasing the usage of ChatGPT like AI tools, right? in there. Even we also put our information. Let's say in ChatGPT, you are creating uh, some kind of a letter, right? So for that letter, you need to put your sensitive information as well. But actually, no one is know what will happen inside that uh, neural network models, right? So let's say after 5 to 10 years time, if someone find out way to hack, so currently also there are several tricks according to those networks. Uh, so as I remember, it's called as I remember the radiation attacks or something. That means if a particular node in the or uh, the hidden if some particular hidden unit can be attacked, and if that attack happen, we can retrieve some information from that particular node or the particular hidden unit in the neural network. Then there will be a radiation leak. That radiation leak means through that hidden unit, it will going to stream a set of let's say uh, large language model will going to retrieve a lot of words. So in that words, they can have your sensitive information, right? So nowadays there are another term called robust and trustworthy ML, where you will learn about how to stop those radiation leaks and all that. Actually, going to learn about what is those network are about. So you will need to be aware of those as well. So here it is not mentioned about those ones, but um, they will be very famous in near future as well. So email, we also discuss some several things regarding some privacy issues in email. So what here means uh, those spams and these emails, if you are not careful about your email account, so others will easy to access uh, your email. And other thing, any email sent on a company on computers are property of their organization. So as I mentioned, that even uh, that that's why you do not need to use a personal email. Let's say uh, write a personal emails to your emails using your personal emails. Not a good thing to do in your company's company on computer. So this is another thing, data collection. So as I mentioned, there are new AI tools as well to collect your data. And let's say you are shopping something when you're in your say Amazon and eBay. So there are several online shopping websites also available. And there are several tools. And what other thing is, you can now do the online purchase as well. So uh, currently, so there is a concern about those hackers will able to get your credit card information. So that's why when you are entering your credit card details and all, so you need to keep an aware where you are going to enter your emails, enter your credit card numbers and all. So that's why nowadays we are having those some other uh, tools, let's say PayPal and uh, some other softwares that are for you to manage your uh, online transactions. So one other thing is you need to aware that so nowadays there are several ways to gather your information and store them in some kind of a hierarchical structure. So log files are some of these things that are especially in using web application and all, where there are several log files and there are all the records uh, will be captured what you have done uh, when you are using that particular web application. So uh, so as I mentioned, you need to be aware of these, and they are actually for your benefit. Like let's say if you are working like uh, word editing software or some presentation software or something. So you will know what you have done, and you can able to backtrack and get some kind of a earlier stage uh, screenshot as well, or earlier stage snapshot. But so how you are going to get that one? By using these log files and those data collecting methods. And the thing is, since they are in the internet and all, they can is some others can maybe able to get access. So when you are creating a such kind of a web application, where you will need to create a logo. So let's say you are creating particular page where to manage user information and all, and there you need to keep a track who are going to log in the time. So those logging information will be stored, let's say a particular database, and you need to have a clear idea about how you are going to protect that information. So especially if those are very sensitive information, let's say a password and all, so you need to encrypt them. So inside in the backend, what you can do is you can encrypt those information and store in your hard drive. So let's say so even some particular users call some hacker got access to your system, even then they are able to get the necessary information because the the files are actually encrypted. So there are several mechanisms to avoid uh, the mislead or misuse of the information that are going to store in the when you are working with internet. right? So this one, I think I already discussed in the social and professional issues subject, where there are several cases. So actually, we can divide uh, uh, some cases into four. That are, the first thing is both the case is both legal and ethical, right? The other thing is the case is legal, but it is unethical. The other thing is the case is illegal but ethical, and the other one, both illegal and ethical. Can you able to put some, let's say, nice example uh, for, let's say, the second one where the problem is ethical but illegal? Please put such cases into the chat. So I will give you 5 minutes. Please find out some cases where it is illegal but it is ethical. So Methuli mentioned illegal but ethical whistleblowing. Actually, whistleblowing is not illegal, right? Uh, if you are aware of the ACM guideline, as I mentioned, there is a way that if, let's say, the company is violating something, and if you are, like, let's take a scenario, right? So imagine, uh, let's say, multinational corporation, let's say it is involved with the some environmental pollution or likewise scenario. right? And let's say you are aware of that. Let's say you are also a company's employee, and you are aware of that, and you can actually do several things, right? So whistleblowing actually the uh, correct way of saying correct. That means the legal and ethical way. So in ACM guidelines also, where so ACM guidelines for software engineers. So let's say you are software engineer, and let's say you are find out a critical bug in your system, right? And through ACM guidelines, it say you can whistleblowing by considering the public good. So how you can do that? You can first, this should be done in this way. First, you need to ask the company managers and uh, the managers and all about the scenario. And if they are not going to listen or not going to do anything to that critical bug, so then as mentioned in the SCM guidelines, you can do whistleblower. That means you can reveal those information to generate public. It will violate the company policy, right? It is that that case is there, but it is legal. So in a uh, court order or in the current uh, uh, law and all, their lawsuit and all, they are going to protect you because it is in the ACM guidelines, and you in there it is mentioned how you, if you need to withdraw in, what are the steps. First you need to uh, inform the company managers about the problem, and if they are not going to listen, then you can do this whistleblowing. So it is legal and ethical. So what is the illegal thing? Let's say some another party, right? As I in the first example where I saying the multinational companies polluting the environment. So another party, what they can do is they can hack into the company's systems and gather information, right? And then what they can do is they can reveal those information to the public, right? So that is uh, ethical, but the illegal is that you are using those hacking softwares and all to get access to the company's information systems, right? So that is one such scenario. So do not get confused. Whistleblowing is a legal thing. So other thing. So it should be legal and unethical. Can you give a example for a scenario where it is legal but it is unethical? Right. Someone put a nice example advertising after tracking user activity. Yeah. So actually many of the current systems, information systems are doing that advertising after tracking user activity. So based on that, they can consider these things will be liked by these particular users, and they are going to use those information. And even the those companies who are collecting those information will sell those informations to other companies. So that is illegal. They actually can't do. But uh, inside the some law frame where some some system, the same system, they are collecting that information. So if you are aware what is done by Truecaller, so Truecaller collects the uh, user's phone numbers, and they are included that they are collecting those information in their terms and conditions, right? So one particular user found out that usually we are not going to read. So one particular user find out that they are collecting this information, and they put a lawsuit, but the case was denied where the uh, Truecaller won the case, where they already mentioned that they are going to collect those information, right? So actually when you are installing, so they are asking to gather those, that we are gathering those informations, and you need to say your uh, give your consent, uh, that you are uh, giving permissions or and allowing those terms and conditions, you are uh, giving those permission, right? So there is one another thing, that is if you are aware, when you are installing, do you think the tick associated to giving your uh, consent? Let's say if you are installing some particular software, and there is a tick you need to put uh, that I am giving my consent to these terms and conditions, right? So do you think the company should put that tick automatically or not? What your thought about that? Let's say the particular software already put that tick for you, and what you need to do is you need to just click the next button, right? So other case is you need to put that tick, and then you need to click that next button. So uh, what your thought about that? What is uh, actually the legal thing? That means actually how you are going to give your consent. So this was some another thing that was discussed in the lawsuit as well, where actually a particular company uh, put that particular tick, and the, in the lawsuit they identified that it is not a way to getting the user consent, right? So nowadays you will see there are another thing. Uh, the next button is associated with like this keyword accepting and install or accept and going to next. Likewise, the the two terms are there, and one other thing is some companies will monitor where even you are scrolling out the those terms and conditions. If you're not going to scroll out, then you actually can't go click the next button, right? So uh, in the company's perspective, if they are required the user consent, so they need to have a way to find out this user actually gave their consent. So if they should put that tick, so that tick is cannot be automatically put there by the company. You users need to put that tick, or otherwise that is necessary thing. And the companies benefit. They what they can do is they can uh, put those two together by using the next button saying you are accepting and install likewise. So when you are click that next button in there, you will see the both keywords are there, accepting and install, right? And other thing, if the particular software company is very concerned about getting the user consent, so they are enabling, at least you need to scroll down to click the next button. Then only you can actually tick or click the next button, right? So as mentioned here, so those information system that we are working on, there offers many opportunities for those unethical behaviors, cybercrime, cyber fraud, even identity theft, where some of uh, some of them, some of the peoples actually created the uh, profiles without by taking another one's identity. So that also considered as a cybercrime, and this is the intellectual property theft. So if you frequently use YouTube and all, you will know there are several cases where this, intellectual property theft is happening. So as I mentioned, STM guidelines are there to for your benefits. So if such scenarios happen, so those guidelines mention how you can act according to those scenarios with the legal and ethical framework, inside the legal and ethical framework. So this is another thing, censorship. So censorship is where that you are censoring some information. So uh, for your benefit, or maybe the hackers also. Uh, Actually, this is for your benefit, but there are some problems also associated to this. So actually, no one is deciding what are the informations should be there on the internet, right? So internet has no owner, right? And you may know uh, you will see only the fraction of information in the internet, right? And those private files of your, let's say, driver, Google Drives, and your personal information on those uh, what else? Those internet where data warehouses and all. So there are lot of informations rather than what you can able to search and get by the web browsers and all, right? So there are a large number of data available, and there are no one to monitor those data, and private and public data are there. So so there are the especially countries can do the censoring. So you have your own experience, I know. So in Singapore, China, they are also doing this. As I remember, China is not going to allow Google services. I actually can't remember it is correct for now as well. But those cases are there. There are some restrictions uh, to go to the internet in those particular countries. And let's say at some age you are going to be parents, right? So in that case, you need to be aware of your uh, sons and daughters that they are going to when they are using the internet. So you will need to create some framework or need to do censoring about those information. I think this the next slide also, right? Explicit language, nudity, violence are there, and as a parent, you need to concern about these ones in the future, right? So you will need to consider about these ones, and mm, let's say uh, let's say some devices. Let's say you have a vehicle, right? So nowadays, new vehicles have their own machine or own display. So you need to be aware of that display as well. If you are going to some places, let's say your fathers and all, and if that devices came up with a message or something that will going to have a bad picture about you, then you will need to be aware of, right? So you will need to able to censor out those information as well, which can show some those bad things, right? So there are tools, and now when you are installing Google, also Google uh, also uh, preventing accessing some information. Even you can filter out the screen time as well. So these can uh, be a the censorship can be used for such that kind of scenarios, right? And the other thing, mistaken or mistype URL. So nowadays the Twitter. So I don't know why it is called X, but it also some kind of a bad practice to name that kind of letter, because it's going to mislead to maybe wrong URLs and all. No, no, nowadays we have laws regarding cyberbullying in, as I remember, the Cybercrime Act. So cyberbullying is not a legal thing. It will be never a legal thing. I think you can go through with the Cybercrime Act. I think, yeah, I gave some tutor as well, right? To search about and put your own answer for that tutor. So there are some of the scenarios were included about the Cybercrime Act. Right, since you can go through with more details and yeah. So censorship is for your own good, but the companies and the government, they may be able to uh, use this in some kind of a bad way or some kind of thing that they will see though if those things are avoided or uh, from the citizens of that particular country, then uh, they will say it is for their good, but there are several problems that are associated. So what is your thought? So let's say in those periods, as I remember when the uh, when the president Maithripala Sirisena era where we had several uh, problems or several restrictions to go to the internet. So what is your think about that? Is let's say is it ethical to control internet? Uh, and what's your thought? So consider there is some uh, problems in a particular area, right? So lot of informations will come to the social media, right? So what your thought about that? The government is restricting access to the social media sites uh, to avoid spreading misleading information. So is it ethical? So what is your thought? So why you are think it is not ethical? So so you need to consider two things. First, the ethical behavior of that situation and about the public good. Actually, those things have no any right or wrong answer. But if I ask those such kind of a question in your exam, in there is a right and wrong answer, right? So in there, the right answer is you need to mention is not ethical or the ethical accept and all, and you need to depend that by using the same guidelines and you can come up your own thoughts by using the uh, those acts and all, intellectual property acts, cybercrime act and all, you need to defend your answer. So if you just say it is unethical, then I can't give you actually full marks. The thing is, some of you can consider it is ethical, and some of you can consider it is not ethical. So both are correct, and you need to defend that. So let's say uh, government is controlling internet access, and what they say is uh, the people will send lot of information. They may be correct or wrong, and they are probably targeting some kind of a particular race or some nationalities. And then what will happen is uh, so those two parties will go into clash. So there will be a uh, larger disaster. So currently it is not likewise, but in future it can happen such scenarios where the general public, uh, if they panic and all, then we never know, right? So it is the from the government aspect, right? But in other words, so let's say uh, if such a scenario, right? Uh, if the person as a citizens of Sri Lanka, if we are aware of those scenarios, so what we actually do, we can prepare for those scenarios, or we can avoid it. Let's say you are planning to go some place, and you are identify uh, in the social networks and all, there are some problem having in those areas, and you can uh, be prepared for it. You can prepare plans according to that. So actually, the problem, the uh, so likewise, there are several things. So you need to actually able to defend your answer according to the your thoughts. And about the legal aspect also. So it is why that now if the government is restriction access to the social networks, so they are violating one thing in the constitution, where uh, able to say or able to uh, access with others, and put your own thought about the scenario. So so but in that case also, if you are uh, sending some wrong information, then it is also illegal. So there are several uh, things according to those scenarios. So I think, yeah, I have already done this intellectual property. You can go through it, these. So I think in the tutorial too, I mentioned about several concept, copyright materials and all. So you can go through with this one. Trademark, laws, software piracy. Right. So other social division and digital divide. So this is one another problems having in the information system. So digital divide means actually the uh, general public is most of the public, especially in Sri Lanka with the current financial situation here. So there are many people who are still not affordable to purchase a kind of devices. So those scenarios are actually considered as this digital divide. So that means in that case, the some of the peoples will able to access and live their comfortable lives, and others they are not going to get those relevant information, and only some information that are put by the government. So those medias and all is going to access to those people, right? So maybe that was the case. Actually, these problems also arise. That means the common people are not aware of what is actually happening because of this digital division. And by the companies, they also uh, can able to restrict the internet as their uh, benefit, right? So the communities that are able uh, might subject to this those particular companies. So they will have some kind of a restricted access to information. So mostly the children or the students are victim of this problem. So now there are several ways to avoid this one by using some loan programs or the school libraries are capable of going to the internet and use these information systems. But it will never know. Like uh, nowadays, as this crisis, uh, it is very hard to cater these problems. So, after your graduation and when you are going to the industry where you earn money, so consider about these funds, and if you are able to uh, solve at least 1% of these problems, then it will going to benefit more to the country. So I think you can also include your ideas on these ones. Uh, so I can able to discuss them as well about social edition and digital divide. Maybe your own thoughts also. Please put them into the chat. Then I can able to discuss. So in the meantime, I will continue. So with the actually the information system, so now information era. So there are several jobs. So you already heard about many of these jobs when your industry sit and all. So I hear is some of the things. And there are some problems also now. Prompt engineering also introduced, and yeah, there are several other things. Data scientists, data analytics, those also can you can include. So you may aware, let's say back in 2005 or something. So many of the government workers, but maybe still the case, they are using those larger number of files and all to do the tasks. They are highly skilled. They can maybe even solve large statistical equation in their hand, right? But the problem is simple information system will be able to uh, replace them with now with the AI and those tools as tools are there also. So let's say about the Midjourney and Blue Willow, like AI tools where you can create your own graphical designs. Graphic designs can easily done by you those tools. So what is about the graphic designers? So uh, normal graphics designers, uh, they need to actually change according to the current system or current technology. Otherwise, their job is going to replace. And this about this job reskilling. So, what other thing is the requirement of that particular job or the particular same thing will be upgraded. So, if the previously they considered as skilled employees, but now they may consider that semi-skilled or unskilled position. So nowadays, so you are going to become software engineers, most of you, right? And now there is a particular trend of co-pilots too, where those tools are helping you to write the whole code. So I don't know, maybe many companies, actually the most reputed companies will recruit you uh, by giving you a particular task. And I heard some of the companies, they ask you to write the code in a Word document or a spreadsheet, right? So what they are actually seeking is your capacity or your skill to uh, code the erroneous code without going to internet and know. But the thing is, with the upcoming technology about those co-pilot softwares and all, the simple coder where he knows the algorithm, but he will take sometimes compared to such a skilled software engineer or skilled code. So, but they know those algorithms well, and they are going to code by using those co-pilot softwares and all. Actually, they can create a whole system with uh, less time when compared to the skilled coder, where he put all the things from the scratch. All it's going to write all the codes from the scratch. That means from the beginning to the end, without going to the internet and all. In let's say in currently and 1 2 years back also, those skilled coders, they are actually doing the thing fast. But with this co-pilot software and normal program is able to code those softwares very efficiently without doing it from the scratch. And even they do not require to go to the Google or Stack Overflow to search about how to do that task. So never know. Maybe after graduating, so you will be required to use those Copilot softwares and all. So I particularly uh, participated to a webinar uh, from this. I cannot remember the lecturer name, but it's from Seattle. Uh, where he uh, never do a coding from the scratch. I think for last 5 years, and he used those Copilot softwares to do their tasks, and he said it is very efficient to do likewise. So uh, it can be the future. So I think please go but them as well when you are doing your personal work and all. So as I mentioned, it can be considered as job upgrading as well. So in that case, one skilled worker might be capable doing the job of several workers. So DevOps and DevSecOps, right? Likewise, those job roles are there to do the whole software life cycle by uh, one person with using those information systems. And nowadays, there are these kind of virtual organization where the companies, suppliers, customers are uh, connected with the network or virtually, and they easily can share their skills and those information, and they are able to access those markets and all in the virtual. So there are no actual physical, uh, maybe the company is there, but the connection is happening virtual. Right, so I think you can read this out. That are the health issues that are uh, include that with by using these tools. So these are also you need to concern about. So especially your vision. So if you're, let's say, if you're working in industry and that companies ask you to work after the working hours also, then let's say you will have a face time more than 12, 14 hours. So that gonna be a issue. So it will, other thing is it will going to harm your mental stress. It will keep increase your stress and those related risks will be also there. So please go through with these informations and all. So nowadays, most of the companies also concerned about this, and they will do the tasks or allocated tasks for 2 weeks time. So uh, so if the particular person is did all the tasks associated to that 2 weeks times, then the company is not going to add more tasks to him. So let's say uh, that employee done the whole things in 2 to 3 days. So other 11 days he can do their own work, but they will need to attend to those company meetings and all. But company is not going to put additional tasks. So those are in the company policy. So I ask you to when you are applying for a particular job role or applying for a particular company. So please go through with those company policies and all that, get an idea. minute. So in your industry visit also, please keep an idea about these ones. So they may show you some nice picture, but you can ask from the workers and all. Actually, the case is so. This is the last session. Is about green computing. So this is actually for environmental purposes. So you may know there are computer waste and all, and when you are working in the computing is always require much of energy. So green computing is the way of using the uh, sustainable environment, working in a sustainable environment, we are consuming at the least amount of energy. So this is involves in the every aspect from the design, manufacture, utilization, and after that even disposal of those computers, servers, and all. So there are still, if you are going to dispose this computer hardware, those devices, so there are still uh, impact to the environment, but you need to reduce that impact to the maximum level. So this here it is discuss how to pursue the green computing strategy. So the first one is that when you are designing your information system, so you need to able to design to this system to last much longer time, so that the components is not going to degrade or not needed to upgrade or replace the entire system as soon as or infrequently. So other thing, so when you are designing some those uh, technologies, so if you can design it to consume less energy and in a reduced time, so that also a benefit. And what other thing is, if you able to reduce the hardware components by using some virtualization of tools or virtualization techniques, then also it is a very benefit thing. So if you are aware about the uh, gaming environment and the what is the uh, autonomous vehicles. So please go over and search about these ones. Uh, when in the Unreal Engine and all, there are simulated environment to train autonomous vehicles. So by using those simulated environments, actually the vehicles are very easy to train. So those models are very easy to train, and they are going to take less number of energy, less number of cost, and it will be very safe to the general public as well. So that one technique that used by industry to train those autonomous vehicles. So there are several such simulated environments also, especially for Unreal Engine also. You can search about those. and work from home is also considered as a green computing strategy. So this is widely used in the inside the Corona era. So video conferencing, those are they are to help this green computing strategy, virtual world, cloud computing. So you can search more about this green computing strategy, and so it is the concept is use less number of energy and doing it faster by not going to take much number of time associated to those tasks. Right. So students, so we can wind up the sessions today from here. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat, or you can unmute and ask.